All right, those are live visuals coming in. Gautam, just hold on to that thought. I'm going to come back to you momentarily. It seems that the Prime Minister is done with his business inside the nomination center, and he's about to come out. You can see a number of security personnel walking out of the office. I'm going to cut across to my colleague Devika, who's right there at the spot. She's going to take us through what's happening there. Devika?
Yes, Vineet, the doors to the DM's office have finally been opened, which indicates that the Prime Minister is now making his way out. All the officials have also come out. There is, of course, security all around. We can see the SPG, everybody else now on standby, waiting for the Prime Minister to make his way back. Remember, he decided to step out of his car outside the center and walk back walk and make his way back in. So he's now, as you can see, in just a minute you'll be able to see beneath that the Prime Minister will just make his way out. There are already chants of Har Har Mahadev and Ghar Ghar Modi that have been started by his supporters. So in just a moment from now, like I said, you can see all the media personnel who were inside now making their way out to get that first glimpse of Prime Minister Modi as he exits from the nomination center. Officials there, of course, of the Election Commission also stepping out. There we can see it. Hopefully our viewers can see it as well. We can now finally see Prime Minister Modi with all the leaders, Amit Shah by his side, several other leaders by his side. He's making his way out. Eknath Shinde, Ramdas Athawale, all of them who had made their way through. And we now see Prime Minister Narendra Modi stepping out of the District Magistrate's office. And he will greet the public that had been waiting for hours. Heat. There you have it. That's what everyone's been waiting for. Union Minister by his side, by his side, President Modi coming out of the District Magistrate's office after the nomination makes it official.
All right, there seems to be a problem with that connection with Devika. We'll go back to her momentarily, but the Prime Minister coming out of the nomination center, flanked by Home Minister Amit Shah, Mr. J.P. Nadda, Mr. Eknath Shinde, Ramdas Athawale, Chandrababu Naidu also right there behind him. And the Prime Minister, of course, is going to have that walk back to his cavalcade. He's got a full day of events and meetings. And this was the moment that we were all looking forward to. The Prime Minister coming out of the nomination center. He's put his papers to contest from the Varanasi Lok Sabha seat, 2024 Lok Sabha elections. He's greeting all his supporters and his allies. Chirag Paswan also there, beaming while looking at the Prime Minister. And the Prime Minister, of course, extremely busy. His itinerary is replete with movements around the country where he's been addressing crowds. Yesterday we saw that road show in which the Prime Minister and his entourage traveled for about 6 kilometers. It created a lot of electricity and a lot of excitement in the city of Varanasi, which has expressed its gratitude. The people of Varanasi have expressed their gratitude towards the Prime Minister and the BJP. And of course, let us not undermine the contribution of Yogi Adityanath when it comes to the changes that we have gotten to see in the city of Varanasi. The Prime Minister waving at his fans, his supporters. He's going back after putting his nomination papers. He stopped at the Kal Bhairav Mandir to take blessings. And this is an important picture. This is an important image. This not only shows the people that support him, this also shows or gives you a sense of the promise that the NDA brings, the promise of unity, the promise of integrity, and the promise that everything is all right, all is well when it comes to the NDA and the allies. The Prime Minister has made a pitch for Ab Ki Baar 400 Par, and each and every ally has also supported this vision and this mission. Gautam, I'm going to come back to you. You were in the middle of completing your thought Apologies for that. We had to cut across to live shots. The Prime Minister has just left Varanasi. But of course, now what we're going to look forward to is voting day, exit polls, and then the results on the 4th of June, which will in fact testify to his popularity and the work he has done in the last 10 years.
Well, Vineet, it goes back to the basic thinking of the Republic when it was formed in 1947 with Nehru at the helm. It was decided that we are not going to promote Hinduism because it will be a form of majoritarianism, and we don't want to do that. We are a secular. Now, this is where the secular idea it was completely twisted right from the start. In the West, secular is neither church nor state. It gives its own province to both. In India, the state became an instrument of promoting a certain twisted brand of secularism, which did everything wrong from the start. First, it had an economic policy totally based on Marxism. First, the Fabian Marxism that Nehru had been taught in England. Secondly, the Soviet form of state Marxism and five-year plans and so on, which he adopted. And that was one thing that retarded our progress for over 50 years. It was like, Sleeping Beauty. All the cobwebs kept growing. Sleeping Beauty, being India, kept sleeping. And it was like a curse on the country, which was poor and needed to grow fast. He did everything wrong. Even if America said anything worthwhile, he just went against it because America was saying it. They wanted to give us a nuclear bomb. He said no. They wanted us in the UNSC. He said no. He palled up with China, and China kicked him in the teeth. This is the kind of misguided policies that the Nehru-Gandhi clan, when the daughter came and then her son, they carried on with this Nehruvian vision of India. Now, what this did was eventually, one day, this started to break up. It started with Jayaprakash Narayan, who pretty much called it all out and said, this is a dictatorship in the name of socialism, the dictatorship of the left. He made such a lot of traction out of it. All the Yadavs you see now were his creation. That emergency had to be declared. He was put in jail. Then from there we come all the way to the birth of the Janata Dal, which was a sort of a ragtag band of everybody who couldn't put up any more with Congress and Nehruvian socialism. They were not well cohesed and they failed. Then you had the birth of the BJP. The first rounds under Vajpayee, he made sure that we became a nuclear power instead of hemming and hawing, and this ensured our security. The second round, under Modi, for the first time India saw a prime minister that was unabashedly Hindu. As Chandni was saying, he prayed at every occasion, at every place, whether it was Hindu, Buddhist, and anything allied. He was game, and he came from a very strong spiritual conviction. He wanted to be a priest in the first place. When the Ramakrishna Math head saw in him qualities that didn't really suit the priesthood very astutely, he finally sort of went the other way, became a pracharak, eventually a politician. And today, his attitude, though he won prior to that thanks to Vajpayee and Advani, they laid the base with the Rath Yatra, the demolition of the Babri Masjid. But he is the one who made a total break with this fraudulent secularism of the past. the if you look at what the Congress is barking about, it's still talking about an old-fashioned socialism, a Stalinist version, in fact. I will take your wealth and redistribute it, and a total bitter hatred towards Hindus. This will finish the Congress party, of course, but they're too stupid to recognize it. And what you're going to see instead is a proud nationalist country, not trying to push any minority into the dirt, but certainly going forward on the basis of our ancient history, our culture, our knowledge, everything that we can be proud of, that many, in fact, very few countries have. Then geographically also, we are most diverse and blessed. All of this is coming to the fore now, and it cannot be reversed. Modi has done his job already. He will do whatever else he can in the new term, which is sort of, strengthening the base. If you look at the BJP manifesto, it is basically a strengthening of the base. It is not saying anything wild and new, and I will give 1 lakh to every individual, the sort of Congress style, so that we can ruin this country like Nigeria and Venezuela. It's a profound thing. This is a Hindu country. It is not only a Hindu country, but it is certainly a Hindu country now. Vineet.
Absolutely. Great points there, Gautam. Mr. Mehta, taking a leaf out of what Gautam said, that the reasons could be attributed to past failures, but the one elephant in the room was also this obsession, or rather this concentration towards having everything which was Nehruvian in nature implemented in a city, which did not fit that particular description or bill.
And not only the city, but you see the state or even the whole nation was dominated by this ideology of in the name of the socialism. No, they never called it a communist, the Congress party especially. But I would like to also mention about this, because of this socialist kind of Congress politics, even the CPM, Marxwadi Communist Party member S.N. Singh won this election in Varanasi in 67. That's why you can imagine how the Congress was just giving a space for those people who are basically don't believe so much in Hinduism. And certainly number of people Congress used to be, because Congress was the part of, after independence, there were a number of people who were very religious. Even the Shama Prasad Mukherjee was the part of the cabinet of the Nehru. But even then, number of people, that's why he is very right. Because you want a Ganga Jamuna culture, but doesn't mean that you should ignore the religious ancient, our culture. Religion means our culture. We talk about the Hinduism not as just a religion, it's about a culture. And that's why when you say the Christianity or the Islam, they have some especially not for others. But here we say, no, we want to incorporate everybody. That's why the Hinduism is in such a way that we have a culture. That's why I think the success of Bharatiya Janata Party, when Dr. Joshi was also there, the Shyamlal Yadav was also there, and especially Shyamlal Yadav was not from the BJP, but these kind of people are Rajnath Singh ji also belong to the same region. He was born in a nearby village, Varanasi. He was also chief minister. He also tried to do something for this. But now, in the last 10 years, what Prime Minister Narendra Modi created, that the symbolism of the Hinduism to give space to everybody. There is no bar for anybody to come there. And that's what I'm saying even if the Muslims, they are also voting. People have concept that, okay, because of this management, media management say, or the survey say, okay, this is a Hindu only voting for him, and Muslim. Congress wants to divide it. But Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Ahmedabad, you see Lucknow, you see in Bhopal, you find in Hyderabad, and now after this 3 talaq and all this decision up to the Kashmir 370. The number of Muslim women, are even the carpet manufacturers, even the exports, they are earning. In Ayodhya and Varanasi, the good population of the Muslims, and they are benefited by this kind of work and the business and the development of the tourism. This is the real Hinduism, what they call it, because you want to give bread and butter to everybody. Because you see in the temples, there is a tradition in India that you have a prasad. You call it now, it became something you have to pay, otherwise, like a Gurdwara where yesterday Prime Minister Narendra Modi himself went there. He always go to Swarn Mandir and other places. That's why we have tradition that anybody who is hungry come in the temple, either in temple or in the Gurdwara, he will get food. Some prasadam means he can, a laddu, if you go to Jagannath Puri, the people serve there. So I think this is the concept for the whole society. That's why when you say conservative, it doesn't mean just going for a prayer, a puja. But with puja, if you have a flower, so the Bali will also get something. If you have something other nariyal, then you also have somebody will earn from this. Everything is related with the economy and with the society for everybody. You see, that's why today in the nomination, you see, one Dalit, one Shastri, one from the backward class OBC, he himself belonged to the backward class. So I think this is the symbolize that the society, integration of the society, everybody wants and everybody should get benefit of any government. From kingdom, those days, that's why in Jains, how much they believe, you must have seen on Mahavir Jayanti, they called it, he is like a Chakravarti, we have a dream, what Narendra Modi is doing for Jainism, for Jain temples and the Jain religious places, for both what he did for Sadrat. This kind of approach, we need a Prime Minister of India who can give guidance, but that's why we call it Vishwa Guru. Vishwa Guru doesn't mean that the culture that, we are teaching somebody, but you do something like yoga, International Yoga Day, and the millets. You see, this is the area when we talk about the agriculture and the people are farmers, how will they learn? They learn by the millets. These kind of approach, very unique ideas, are the solar energy. What he is doing, I remember Suresh Prabhu was the minister at the time. The budget was only the 500 crores in Atal Bihari Vajpayee, and there was some pressure from Shiv Sena. I'm not elaborating it, but he will say that because he was not paying to some other companies and all, or because some pressure was there, then he resigned, and some other ministers came at the time. So even Manmohan Singh regime also, the budget was very less on solar energy because the lobbies were working that for solar, I have written number of times that we used to get from China, the panel of solar panel.
Right, sir.
Now, yeah.
Right, sir. So let me also rope in, we have a paucity of time, let me also rope in Advocate Manasvi Thapad and get his perspective on what we have witnessed here today as well. Manasvi, we had this conversation yesterday as well. A lot has worked for Kashi, and that's pretty evident. It's pretty, self-prophesizing as well. We also know, Manasvi, what did not work for the city of Varanasi, and it was all the governments that came before 2014.
See, the ideology of all the governments and this government is different. So we have to understand that. And this government is very, very strong in terms of that ideology, and it connects with the people also with lots of ease. So when it comes to Hinduism, when it comes to the Hindu vote bank and Kashi, Vishwanath, Varanasi, Mathura and all the Hindu religious places, and with the largest vote bank of being Hindus. So this didn't even work when Atalji was the Prime Minister. It didn't work when previous 6 Prime Minister who were not from Congress. It didn't work for them also. But this is a individual working thing. It's not about the BJP. It's about the Prime Minister's Narendra Modi's connect with Kashi, and that's what is the difference between other people and this particular individual. So he understands the sentiments very well, and there is no other place for us than Varanasi as the holiest place for us. So this sentiment, he captured it with lots of ease. The first election when he fought for the Prime Minister, he fought from Gujarat and Varanasi. The next election he concentrated only on Varanasi, and this one also Varanasi. He wants to give that particular impression to the people that this is the space where I want to be, and this is the space where people also want him to be there. That Hindu Mahasamrat. So he has turned out to be a Hindu Mahasamrat, and that narrative, no one can actually counter that. Anyone who tries to even come close to it in either in parallels or opposition, there's no one that particular individual who can actually nail it at his level. Why? Because he has that momentum. One. Secondly, he has been into politics, completely active politics since last 30 years, from 2002, 2001, from Gujarat till today. So he has been very active, very vocal what he stands for, and this is what has been connecting with the people. With no other politician, I think in the present times, this connection is there. So that's an advantage which he has, while other politicians will not have been in power so long. His people, his contemporaries are either retired or he's making sure they retire as soon as possible. So that kind of mandate which he's having, I don't think anyone is even close to him in this particular segment of mixing religion and votes. So that there is where this kind of becomes very strong for him.
All right, we've run out of time. Would like to thank all my guests for being a part of this conversation.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.